So I actually changed the name. Just give me Northwest Ohio Underground Metal Review. I don't want to say Toledo because it's not technically. Neither of us are technically from Toledo.
You know what?
I got a NWOUGMR. People are gonna call us by the acronym. Hello, we are Northwest Ohio Underground Metal Review, and today we're gonna be talking about three new metal EPs. One of them's actually like experimental hardcore somethingness. I don't know, it's got like hip hop in it, but the other two are mellow death pretty much. So all these releases came out the week of March 27th. Imperial Eclipse, the Grand War of Despair. Pretty much like the main thing about Imperial Eclipse is that they're like a mix of a lot of different genres. They're pretty proggy. They also have like just a lot of technical influences, and they even have some grindcore in there. There was this one specific song that had like a strapping young lad-esque riffs that I think could be an Arch Enemy or an Insomnium song or something like that. And the techier stuff really reminded me of Suffocation, Revocation, and Morbid Angel. And there's like acoustic guitar and like harmonies and a lot of guitar stuff, and that really reminded me of Opus. Not a lot of variety of vocals, which is fine. You know, most death metal's like that, but I would have liked something like with more like mid and high screams. But overall, it's a really creative, cool album. It's got a lot of tension and like moving parts that kind of like work together to create a really coherent product. And the only thing I didn't like about it was pretty much the compression of the production. The audio is kind of amateurish. I mean, it would be considered really good for, you know, an underground band like years ago, but today it's just kind of whatever.
Yes, excellent riffs and really great drumming, very consistently solid, and I do not have a ton of experience with the mellow death genre. This definitely ranks among the top of everything I've heard.
The next album we're going to talk about, it's another EP. It's by a band called Cerebral Mist. It's called Age of Mist. This is kind of like a project that was created years ago, abandoned after the lead songwriter passed away suddenly, and the remaining band members ended up gathering together and finishing this EP in his memory, and I think that's really cool. In general, it's like a melodic death metal album with kind of electronic metalcore elements, which it's a pretty cool combination. For me, you can't get away from like those crabcore bands like Attack and stuff. It just always reminds me when people are mixing synth music and melodic metal. It also reminded me a lot of Viking metal, like Winter Sun and Amon Amarth. The lyrical concepts didn't really seem to tackle anything like that. I wasn't totally paying attention to the lyrics, but it seemed to be more like about nothing like really natural. Probably the synth melodies are pretty cool, and they drive the music along, and you kind of know like what's happening pretty much within the first couple minutes of each song. And I would have liked for some more experimentation, but again, I mean, you can't really change much when somebody suddenly passes away, and yeah, I mean, it's really fun to listen to. So the production's like really compressed once again. I mean, this is kind of a common thing in metal.
Yeah, it is really it's an interesting take on feels like a few different genres. Some of the synths on the album are very upbeat and vibrant, and almost reminds me of something you'd hear like a League of Legends tournament or something. The music supporting it is pretty good overall.
That brings us to the last EP, which is by Priests of Prometheus. It's an EP called Hazardous Cycle. Really like a noisy, dark, atmospheric kind of album. I like the production because it's really raw, in contrast to the last two albums. The music's not necessarily like my thing. It kind of gives me like deep web kind of vibes, like the kind of thing that you'd like find randomly on Newgrounds or in a really experimental psychedelic walking sim. It kind of reminded me of specifically Cephalic Carnage because of like the humor behind the music. There's also like that death grippy kind of sound. But yeah, there's like some hardcore, metalcore, new metal riffs in there, and it's kind of tied together by hip hop beats.
Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty well. There's not much more to it.
That is it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.